So, Senator, let's talk about last time you were here. You mentioned the big three, and were not. You didn't mince words about how you were concerned about that they had not moved along far enough in terms of fuel economy.
Right.
Let's talk a bit more about that, because you really have not changed your critical.
No. I think that Detroit has done a much better job over the last year in making the kinds of investments that we're going to need to compete. And with gas prices what they are right now, you're seeing consumer demand shift in a fundamental way. And this is what I was talking about last year, which is that's the direction we're going to be going in. That's the future, not just for environmental reasons, but for national security reasons, and the fact that Chinese and Indians are going to be wanting cars, which means you've got a lot of demand on oil. So the long-term trajectory is a different fleet mix, investment in hybrids, investment in electric cars, new technologies. And I want to be the president who works as a partner with the auto industry and manufacturers all throughout Michigan and throughout the Midwest to retool, rebuild, reinvest. And so we're committing billions of dollars to help automakers move in the right direction. But in exchange, they've got to embrace the future and not cling to the past. We're not going to be able to simply protect ourselves over the long term from some of these shifts in the competitive environment.
You mentioned the future. Let's talk a little bit about what you saw today at the Sterling Stamping Plant. They showed you the electric car, the E85, the diesel vehicle. Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. And I was very impressed with listening to Chrysler executives talks about some of the investments that they've made, and they need more help. They need help making those investments. And you know, the interesting thing about the speech I gave a year ago was people focused on me insisting we need higher fuel efficiency standards, which I still believe, and in fact we've made some progress on that front in Congress. But what I also said was I was going to be providing billions of dollars to help the automakers make that transition. I don't expect them to do it on their own. I want them to get help, but I want to make sure that the help we're providing is leading to a better competitive solution as opposed to just trying to preserve what existed in the past.
You mentioned today that as president, the automakers would not have to wait
That's exactly right.
to talk to you. Obviously alluding to President Bush, the automakers wanted to sit down with him, and he did not. You said you want to make sure that automakers have what they need. Is that just money?
Well, no, it's not just money. I mean, I think we've got to, for example, have a president who is more aggressive in assuring that our trade agreements are fair. If South Korea is sending hundreds of thousands of cars into the United States, and we can't even sell 5,000 cars in South Korea, that tells me that we're not doing a good enough job negotiating our trade agreements. And so, you know, the automakers need not only a tough negotiator when it comes to world trade, they need a president who is going to be serious about investing in research and development, in basic sciences, in building our infrastructure, in helping deal with health care, because that continues to be a significant drag on the profitability of companies here in the United States. That comprehensive approach to economic development is something that I've been talking about throughout the course of this campaign, that I'm going to keep on talking about when I'm President of the United States.
Your name was not on the ballot during the primary here in Michigan. A lot of people were upset about that. They had to vote uncommitted. Why didn't you do what Hillary Clinton did? She broke the rules. Her name was on the ballot.
Well, we were told that we weren't supposed to compete in Michigan. Most of the candidates took their name off the ballot. Senator Clinton was, I think, one of the exceptions. You know, I don't make these rules. I had no preference of one set of rules or another. You know, ironically, it was, you know, Senator Clinton's people who were much more likely to have participated in the rulemaking 4 years ago than me. So, you know, my job has just been to say, you tell me what the rules are and we'll compete that way.
How important is Michigan?
Michigan's very important, and Michigan is critically important. We need to win Michigan, and we're going to make this a top priority, and that means that we're going to be spending a lot of time here. We're going to spend a lot of resources here, and I want to partner with local Democrats to make sure that we're winning not just the presidency, but congressional seats and local seats so that we can implement an agenda for change.
One of the long-term congressmen from around here, Debbie Dingell, his wife, Debbie Dingell's
husband, John. Yeah.
John, but she is one of the party leaders who helped to divide the Michigan delegates. Are you happy with how they were divided in this deal to give you both delegates?
Well, I think it is a reasonable starting point, and we've said that we are going to be happy to work with the leadership here in Michigan to make sure that Michigan delegation is seated. That is something that I'm confident of. It's something that will happen. I intend to be the Democratic nominee, and I hope that Senator Clinton's people are going to feel the same way. We've got to get them seated, and we've got to do it in an equitable way.
Are you happy with the way the delegates work?
I think it is a reasonable approach. Now, we haven't crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, but I think that we think it's a legitimate way of going about dealing with the problem.
Let's talk about your vice presidential pick. I know that it's ahead of the game because you're not the nominee yet,
right.
But have you been thinking about it? What kind of qualities would you be looking for in a vice president if you are the nominee? Well,
I haven't been thinking about it yet because I'm still pursuing the nomination. Right. But what I have said in the past is that all my appointees, whether it's vice president, cabinet members, I want people who are competent. No more heads of the Federal Emergency Management Agency that don't know anything about emergency management. We want people who are competent. We want people with integrity. I don't want a revolving door in my White House where people are going to work for industry and then lobbying for industry and then coming to work in the White House and going back. I want people who are in government to serve and to provide the voter with the best possible government we can provide.
Would you choose Hillary Clinton?
And well, the third thing I was going to say is I want independence. Somebody who is going to be able to tell me where I'm wrong and not just provide affirmation of whatever decisions I make.
She would probably do that.
I think Senator Clinton is a very capable person. I don't want to talk about specific candidates at this point because, as I said, I have not won the nomination, and Senator Clinton is actively pursuing the nomination.
Last question, if I can. Here in Detroit, we are dealing with kind of a city crisis with the city council, which is they're starting for forfeiture proceedings on the mayor. They are going to ask the governor to step in and get rid of him, use her power to do so. Do you think that may hurt the Democrats' chances of getting votes in the election because of this controversy, maybe keep people away?
I don't think it's going to have an impact in terms of voter behavior in November. I think people are going to recognize we've got a choice between John McCain, a candidate who wants to essentially continue George Bush's economic policies and foreign policies, and fundamental change. Somebody who wants to end the war in Iraq, somebody who wants to provide universal health care, somebody who is committed to investing billions of dollars into manufacturing here in the United States and creating good jobs at good wages, somebody who's committed to making college more affordable. I think that's what's going to drive people to the polls. Obviously, the situation in Detroit is of concern to the city of Detroit and the people involved. And I don't want to.
Had you heard about it?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't want to comment on the specifics of it because this is an active legal case. But I think that these are grave allegations made against the mayor. I think that they have to be resolved, and I want to make sure that they're resolved in a way that are good for all the parties involved and good for the people of Detroit.
Senator Barack Obama, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.